So in the last video, we had done ordinary and special resolution, but we had not marked it from the book. So before I start today's topic, let's just go back to those topics, mark it from the book and come back here. So we had started with resolution. What is resolution? It means the formal decision taken by the company at the meeting, and a resolution can be ordinary or special. Ordinary resolution means votes in favor is exceeding the votes against. That means, to put it in simple terms, the vote in favor is more than the vote against. Whereas special resolution is the notice must specify that the resolution is a special resolution and the votes cast in favor of the resolution are not less than 3 times the vote cast against. So, to put it in simple terms, the votes in favor are at least 3 times the votes against. Right? So, now moving on to the next topic. So, we are now going to discuss the general meetings of the company. Which I had told you, there are two types of meetings: annual general meeting and extraordinary general meeting. Annual general meeting is given under section 96, whereas extraordinary general meeting is given under section 100, though we have other relevant connected sections also. So let's start first with annual general meeting. I already told you, when I use the term general meeting, the term general meeting means what? It means the meeting of the shareholders, right? So when I use the word general meeting, I am talking about meeting of the shareholders. Annual. What is annual? Annual report milta tha. Remember, that was the worst day of your school days, right? Some of you would be super excited. Apart from some of you, everyone, for every other person, it would be like, oh my god. Anyway, so it means obviously yearly. So as the name itself suggests, that annual general meeting means what? A meeting which is held yearly by the company. See, the whole concept is that the shareholders do not take part in the day-to-day management of the company. That is done by the board of directors. Now I am a member, I have invested money, but I don't have any management rights. They are with the board of directors. So what is my right as a member? I am not taking into the day-to-day affairs. I am not doing that. So if I as a member, I should know what is happening. So every year, once the financial year ends, so please understand, the meeting is held after the year ends, right? After the financial year ends, the meeting is held after that. Once the financial year ends, the company will hold a meeting of its shareholders, call all of its shareholders at one place. Yes, give you some breakfast or snacks also. Breakfast to me, they don't call a meeting so early in the morning. Rather, it would be a snakes. Oh my god, I'm going to go to China. Anyway, give you some snacks, samosa to eat, and then they will tell you what they have done throughout the year. What is the financial position of the company? What all they have done throughout the year? What are the plans they are making for the next year? All those will be disclosed to the members. So this is done at the annual general meeting. So now the question comes, which company has to conduct an annual general meeting? So does it make a difference whether you are a public company or you are a private company? You are a company, no? You have to call this meeting. So irrespective of whether you are a public company, private company, government company, doesn't make a difference. You are a company, you call a meeting. And this meeting is the annual general meeting. So this meeting shall be called by every company. But when it comes to private or public company, we have 2 or 7 minimum, and we don't stick or leave it there. We have more members, right? So we call a meeting so that everyone can gather at one place and we can tell them. But when it comes to OPC, एक ही member है, right? And calling a meeting is definitely a little bit expensive also for the company. Notice has to be sent, a venue has to be fixed. It can be at the office also, whatever. And it's not just about expenses also. Only one member, in most of the cases, he is also the director. Isn't it so pointless to call a meeting for that one member? So, the Companies Act, section 96 says that irrespective of whether you are a private company or you are a public company, you are a company, you should call a meeting of the shareholders. But if you are an OPC, there is no point of you calling a meeting. So in case of OPC, you don't have to call the meeting. So every company except OPC, right? Every company except OPC. Now, if I don't put restrictions, you have the freedom to do whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want. So Companies Act says, I'm not going to leave you at that. I'm going to tell you the time. Because if I don't tell you the time, you may call for 3 years once and say, oh, this is annual general meeting for the past 3 years. No, I'm not going to let you go of that easily. So the Companies Act tells you the time within which the meeting should be held. I told you yearly, yes, so once in a year it has to be held. But still, if I don't give you an upper limit, a restriction, you will call maybe after 10 months, 12 months, the next year is about to end and then you decide to call. That won't be correct, no? So, Companies Act has given a restriction as to the time limit when this meeting should be called. So, what is the time for calling an annual general meeting? So, here we have two things, the first meeting and the subsequent meeting. Ma'am, what's the first meeting and what's the subsequent meeting? Company is incorporated. After incorporation, the company calls the first meeting, right? After incorporation, the first annual general meeting that the company calls, that is known as first AGM. Company is incorporated, it does the business, financial year ends, and after the financial year ends, the first meeting that the company calls, that is known as the first AGM. After that, whichever whichever AGM the company calls, that is known as what? Subsequent. So after incorporation, the first AGM is what we are talking about, the first meeting. After the first meeting, every AGM is a subsequent AGM, right? I already told you the meeting is held after the financial year ends. So what is the time limit? Time limit is obviously always after the financial year ends. So the time limit for holding the first meeting is within 9 months from the end of financial year. Please understand, I am not saying 9 months from incorporation. No, within 9 months from the end of the financial year. That means what? That means company is incorporated here and financial year ends here. And from here I am talking 9 months, not from here. So 9 months from the end of the financial year. Right? The first meeting should be held within 9 months from the end of the financial year. Now, when we talk about within 9 months from the end of the financial year, this we understood. But what do we mean by the term financial year? So, Section 2, Clause 41. You know, Section 2 gives us all the definition of all the terms that are used in the Act. So, Section 2, Clause 41 defines the term financial year. It says it is a period which ends on the 31st of March. That is the period for which the books of accounts are laid down. And it ends on the 31st of March. So basically begins on 1st of April, ends on 31st of March. If the company is incorporated, on or after 1st Jan, then financial year will be 31st March of the following year. So following means next year, right? Following means what? Next year. So from the date of incorporation, if the company is incorporated on or after 1st Jan, then 31st March of the next year. Don't worry, I'm going to give you an example to understand this concept very clearly. So we will do it in a while. But for now, just remember this. So what is the time for holding the first AGM? Within 9 months from the end of the financial year. Now coming to subsequent meetings. See, it's what it says, annual, right? So, once in every year, then gap between two, not more than 15 months. So, what does that mean? Don't worry, I'm going to explain everything. And within 6 months from the end of the financial year, right? Within 6 months from the end of the financial year. Now see, if you notice, here I have written financial year, here I have written year. Is there a difference? Well, if you have studied General Clauses Act, if you have not, don't worry, we have that chapter in our syllabus, so we'll be doing that also. So, if you have studied that General Clauses Act, the word year and financial year, the difference and the words have been defined under the General Clauses Act. The word year means the year as per the Georgian calendar, that is, which starts in January, ends in December, right? Whereas financial year means 1st April to 31st March. So basically, always remember, in law, if you come across only the word year, that means I'm talking about the calendar year. Whereas if I say financial year, that means I'm talking about 1st April to 31st March. Okay. So this is something that you have to interpret on your own. Next time when you read it, you know the difference between the two. So once in every year. That means once between the period of January to December, right? Within 6 months from the end of the financial year. So financial year ends here and within 6 months. So for the first meeting, the period was more. For the is the first meeting, no, we may need a little bit of time also. So for first meeting, it was what? For first meeting, it was 9 months. But for subsequent meetings, it is what? For subsequent meeting, it is 6 months. It's not 9 months, it's 6 months. Gap between the two not more than 15 months. What does this mean? Previous meeting, subsequent meeting. Now every year I have to hold a meeting, no? Every year I have to hold a meeting. So the previous meeting was held and now the subsequent meeting is held. So between this period should not exceed 15 months. It should be less than or equal to 15 months, but it should not exceed 15 months. Right? It should not exceed 15 months. Now, I hope it's clear to everyone. So the previous meeting and the next meeting that we are going to hold, the gap between the two should not be more than 15 months. I hope this is clear to everyone. Yes, for first meeting, it was very simple. Within 9 months from the end of the financial year, once in every year. Gap between two not more than 15 months, within 6 months from the end of the financial year. Now here, what we need to understand is 2021 financial year. The meeting for this financial year, so this period started on 1st April 2020 and this period ends on 31st March 2021. Once the financial year ends, the meeting for this financial year will be held now. So this is the time period for holding that meeting. I hope it's clear, because I told you once the financial year ends and then we hold the meeting for that financial year. So the meeting that I am holding now, I am holding it for the previous financial year, preceding financial year. So let's say if I am holding a meeting on 30th of September 2021, this meeting is for which financial year? 2021. I hope it's clear to everyone. Yes? Now, here there are 3 dates. And this could be really conflicting and confusing. So let's understand a little bit more about this. Let us say my previous meeting, okay, my previous meeting was held. So I had given you a date here. Let's take that only. My previous meeting was held on 30th September, 2021. Though we are in 2023, I'm still talking about 21. So it's okay. The last meeting was held on 30th September 2021. So what should be the date for the next meeting? right? What should be the date as per this? What should be the last date for which a meeting should be held for 22? What should be the last date by which the meeting should be held for 2022? So once in every year. That means the meeting should be held by 31st December 2022. Correct? Gap between two not more than 15 months. So this was 30th September. So if I add 15 months, it comes to 30th December 2022. Correct? And within 6 months from the end of the financial year. So the financial year must have ended on 31st March 2022. So 6 months from that is 30th September 2022. Now I have three conflicting dates. If I follow this date, I am going against this and this. If I follow this date, I follow this, but I'm going against this. But if I follow this day, I follow all. So on this, it is whichever date falls the earliest. Whichever is earliest. I hope it's clear. Whichever is earliest. Once in every year, gap between two not more than 15 months and within 6 months from the end of the financial year. So this is the time period within which the meeting should be held. Because all the three have to be fulfilled, it is whichever is earliest the meeting should be held. And please understand, when I hold a meeting on 30th September 2021, the meeting is for the preceding financial year. So this meeting is for the financial year 2021. Once the financial year ends, then I hold the meeting for that year. So after the year ends, I am holding the meeting for that year. I hope this is clear to everyone. Right? Now let's talk about this here. So let's say my company was incorporated on okay, every person gets a little too excited about this, god only knows why. 14th Feb 2022. Okay, the company was incorporated on this day. Can you tell me the last day by which the meeting of this company should be held? Can you tell me the last date for by which the meeting of this company should be held? Actually, before I tell you the answer, you should try to calculate it. You should try to figure it out. I do anyway have to give the answer. But I really want you to figure it out before I calculate. Please first try to calculate the period, that is the end, the financial year when it ends. First figure that out and then only you can find out the time period. So I want you to calculate this before I give you the answer. Though to be very honest, it's very easy for me to give the answer. Very easy for you also to figure out the answer. So have you figured it out? If you have not, you should stop the video here right now, figure it out and then proceed. You should be able to figure it out. I shouldn't be the one giving the answer, though I have to discuss it. Anyway, if you have not figured it out, stop the video here. First figure it out and then proceed. So, if I say financial year, if the company is incorporated on or after 1st Jan, 31st March of the following year, so the financial year will start on 14th Feb 2000. Ma'am, financial year starts on 1st April. Arey bhai, so what about 14th Feb to 1st April? There will be no record 31st March, no records. So obviously the day the company is incorporated, from that day my financial year will start. No. Right, from that day my financial year will start. So 14th Feb 2022 to 31st March 2023 is my financial year. Correct? And within 9 months from the end of the financial year, the AGM should be held, which is 31st December 23. So the time for holding the first AGM is, it should be latest by 31st December 23. I hope it's clear to all of you. Now, if instead of 14th Feb, the year of incorporation that I had given, if let us say this was 14th of November, okay, ma'am, seriously, from Valentine's Day to Children's Day, whatever, 2021, then what would be the financial year and what would be the date of AGM? Again, I'm telling you, stop the video here, calculate it, and then move forward. So, financial year would be 14th of November 21 to 31st March 22, and AGM should be held latest by 31st December 22. I hope it's clear to everyone. Yes. So I repeat again, the time for holding the first AGM is within 9 months from the end of the financial year. For subsequent meeting, it's once in every year. The gap between two not more than 6 months, and with not more than 15 months and within 6 months from the end of the financial year. Correct? Now, let's say I did everything, sab kuch kiya, prayed to God also, everything I did, and still I was not able to hold the meeting. 6 months have passed, I tried to do everything, I prayed to my shareholders, I prayed to my directors, company prayed to itself also, भगवान को भी pray किया, कुछ भी नहीं हुआ. Then go to our company God, ROC, and tell him that I am sorry, but I am not able to hold the meeting. God, please, kuch to time do. Even God gives time. You please give some time. So if company is unable to hold the meeting, it can make an application to registrar of companies. It can make an application to registrar of companies for extension of time. Right? Is it mandatory he will give you extension? It's God. God will grant you the wish or not, wo God ki marzi hai. Right? The ROC may grant. So I use the word may. So it's a discretionary power of the ROC. Right? It's the discretionary power of the ROC. You cannot force him to grant extension. It is his choice, his power. If he feels that yes, I should grant an extension, he may grant. But if he feels that no, I should not grant an extension, he will not grant an extension. So it's a discretionary power of the ROC. He may grant extension. Can he grant an extension? Jao, I give you 2 years. He is a small God. इसके ऊपर भी God है. And that God will pull his reins. नहीं ऐसे थोड़ी ना you can do anything. Wait. Don't run unbridled. You don't have infinite powers. Your powers are restricted. So you can grant extension. Okay. But not more than 3 months. Right? So maximum power that he has to grant an extension is what? 3 months. He can grant extension, but in no case can he grant extension of more than 3 months. So what is the maximum extension? 3 months. So if I am unable to hold the meeting, whatever the reason, I can go. That means I am unable to hold the meeting within this time period. Right? I am unable to hold the meeting within this time period which is given under section 96. I can go and ask the ROC that please grant me an extension. If he feels that yes, he should grant extension, he will grant you extension, but maximum only 3 months. No extension beyond 3 months. But first, I did not. Now see one thing. Here I gave you what time? 9 months. For other company I gave 6 months only. I gave you what? 9 months. I have given you 9 months to hold the meeting and you still cannot hold meeting. Still you are asking extension. Get lost. How much time you want? First of all, you were incorporated in 2022. I did not tell you to hold any meeting in 2022. First meeting you are straight holding in 23. 22 no meeting. 23 also 9 months. ऐसे क्या? What? You want the whole lifetime to hold one meeting or what? 9 months you couldn't hold the meeting. Year of incorporation you are not holding any meeting. तो फिर और कितना time? Or kitna time? If you are not ready now, you will never be ready. So I can grant you extension, but no extension for first meeting. Right? No extension. So you will be granted extension, but you will not be granted any extension for the first meeting. Is it clear to everyone? I hope it's clear to everyone. Yes? One thing, if you notice here, company was incorporated in 2022. First meeting in 23. Here it says one meeting in every year. So here this is not fulfilled, no. So the act says it's okay. It's okay if no AGM is held in the year of incorporation. Right? Act says it's okay if no meeting is held in the year of incorporation. It's absolutely okay. I hope it's clear to everyone. Yes? So just let's go back to the book once. An annual general meeting, which company has to hold? If you remember, I told you every company, irrespective of whether you are private or you are public, but not OPC, shall in each year it is given each year, but for the first AGM, even if no meeting is held in the year of incorporation, it's okay, right? Call the meeting of the shareholders known as the AGM. The time is for the first AGM, it is within 9 months from the end of the financial year. For subsequent AGM, the time is once in every year. This year means what? Calendar year. Gap between two not more than 15 months and within 6 months from the end of the financial year. The term financial year is defined under clause 41 as I already defined it to you. If the company is not able to hold AGM within time, it may make an application to the ROC for extension of time. The registrar may extend, not mandatory, discretionary. If I feel you don't need extension, I will not give you extension. If I feel you should be granted extension, I will grant you extension, within which any AGM not exceeding 3 months. However, no extension shall be granted for the first meeting. No extension for the first meeting. I hope it's clear to everyone. Yes? Yes? Very small section it is anyway. Now, what is the time, day, and place? Time, day, and place. Let's talk about day. Any day which is not a national holiday. Now, please understand, they have not said public holiday, so it can be held on a Sunday. Right? It can be held on a Sunday. They are only saying national holiday. What is national holiday as declared by the central government? Any holiday which is declared as a national holiday by the central government. To be honest, in India, we have only 3 national holidays as of now. 15th of August, 26th of Jan, 2nd of October. And those who don't know what is it, it's very, I mean, you remember we just wait when we were in school, the first thing, ab to koi fayda bhi nahi hai. After joining the CA course, no holiday is actually a holiday. Every day is a working day. Irrespective of whether it's a national holiday, public holiday, basically, especially coaching, we are working every day. However, we have 3 national holidays, 26 Jan, 15th August and 2nd October. These are the only 3 national holidays we have. Apart from this, we can hold an AGM on any day. Time is what? During the business hours. Time is what? During the business hours. So basically, they don't define business hours, but 9 to 6, 10 to 5, 10 to 6, whatever. And place, it should be at the registered office. So my office is situated in Kolkata, and my company has recently earned a lot, right? And honestly, I want to give my members a very lavish meeting. So instead of holding it at my registered office, I actually want to hold the meeting at JW Marriott in Kolkata. Can I do that? Yes, I can. I can. But now I'm traveling to Bangalore, which you all know I travel so many times for my classes. So I decided JW in Bangalore. Let me give it there. Can I do that? No. So it is either at the registered office or within the same city, town or village. It's not CCTV, CTV, city, town or village where the registered office is situated, right? So what is the time during the business hours? Any day which is not a national holiday and at the registered office or within the same city, town or village where the registered office is situated. Now here this is for general companies, okay? In case of a government company, you know what is a government company? Yes, where at least not less than 51% of the paid up share capital is held by the central government or the state government or both, right? Government company, it is the same. I'm not writing the whole thing, it's the same. At the registered office or within the same city, town or village where the office is situated, or any place, any place approved by the central government. Right? So it can be any place approved by the central government. So ma'am, that means it can be outside the city. Yes, absolutely. Any place. If the central government approves of that place, it can be held at that place also. So it can be any place where which is approved by the central government. I hope it's clear. So in case of a government company, it is at the registered office or within the same city, town or village where the registered office is situated or any place approved by the central government. Clear all of you? I hope it's clear to everyone. Yes. Now, other case, in case of an unlisted company, right? In case of an unlisted company anywhere in India, right? In case of a listed company anywhere in India, if approval of approval means what? Prior approval. That means you cannot say, Acha, I called it, I am situated in Kolkata, I called a meeting in Bangalore and the members come there. Hey guys, was it okay for you to come here? Now what is the point of asking also? So prior approval of all the members, either in writing or electronically. So before I decide to call anywhere else, this is only for unlisted company, not for every company. So if you are an unlisted company, you can call the meeting anywhere in India, but you have to first get the approval of all your members. How will I get the approval? Either in writing I get it or I electronically get a voting from them that yes, we all are okay with it, and then I can call a meeting anywhere else. I hope this is clear to everyone. So, annual general meeting shall be called during the business hours on any day which is not a national holiday and held at the registered office or some other place within the city, town or village where the registered office is situated. In case of an unlisted company, any place in India, if consent is given in writing or electronic mode by all the members in advance, right? Bula ke arre. I hope it was not a trouble. What the hell? In case of a government company, such other place within the city, town or village where the registered office is situated or any other place as central government may approve in this behalf. I hope it's clear with this. We are done also with section 96. I hope it is clear to everyone. Yes, I hope it's clear to all of you. Yes, yes. Now, there is one more section which is related to AGM. Power of tribunal to call an AGM. Now, the purpose of calling the AGM is so that we can inform the shareholders what we have done throughout the year. So, this is given under section 97. Okay. So, the purpose of calling an AGM is so that we can inform our, our shareholders what we have done throughout the year, right? They should be aware of what we have done. Now, we did not call only. The member is saying, Arey, please call the meeting, call the meeting, call the meeting. We are not calling only the meeting. Now what should the members do? Sit and cry? I don't know. My money. My money is gone. Should we do that? Arey, nahi re baba. Don't do that. Companies Act is giving you all options. Company nahi bulaya, come to us. So, obviously we will go to whom? It's given here, tribunal. So, we'll go to the tribunal. So, if the company does not call its AGM, the member can make an application to tribunal that see, company is not calling the meeting, right? It can go to the tribunal and make an application to the tribunal that see, company is not calling the meeting. When you go to the tribunal will obviously blindfoldedly, the tribunal is not just going to trust you. The tribunal is going to check into the matter. And if after checking into the matter, it finds that yes, the company has not called the meeting, it will either call the meeting itself or direct the company to call the meeting. That means it can pass order to the company that please call the meeting, or it can itself, yes, the tribunal can itself call the meeting of the shareholders. Now, this meeting which is called on the order of the tribunal, that is the tribunal itself calling the meeting or the company calling the meeting on the order of the tribunal, in any of these cases, this meeting shall be considered or regarded as the meeting to be the AGM of the company. This meeting, which is called by the tribunal or on the order of the tribunal, shall be considered as the meeting of the company, as the AGM of the company. Okay, that means when the company does not call the meeting and the member makes an application to the tribunal to call the meeting, it will be considered. Then, when the meeting is called, this meeting will be considered as the meeting of the company. And can the tribunal pass additional orders? Yes, it's tribunal. It has the authority. It can pass any additional order, including it can also pass an order that even if a single member is present in the meeting, it's valid. Otherwise, single person does not make the meeting. But here, if he passes an order that even if a single member is present, the meeting is valid, then in that case, even a single member can form the meeting. I hope it's clear to everyone. Yes. So I hope this was clear to all of you.